I'm Dana Denha, and you're watching FYI. In 1987, National Girls and Women's in Sports Day was established to recognize success and provide equal opportunities for athletic participation across genders. The Ann Arbor Sports Commission is highlighting these accomplishments at the local level on the campus of Eastern Michigan University.
Today is the National Girls and Women in Sports Day. This is our clinic partnership with the Ann Arbor Sports Commission and Eastern Michigan University.
We love to support girls and women around Washtenaw County, and with this national holiday, it gave us a great opportunity to provide education, new sports for girls and women to learn so they can continue to learn their strengths, their capabilities, mental resilience.
We want to educate everybody on the opportunities out there, and it's not just focused on women's sports. We brought our football team, our baseball team, and then we have rowing and women's soccer and volleyball and some others as well.
This opportunity is for all ages, where younger athletes can learn sports, or possibly somebody who has not been involved in sports to learn a sport and realize that anybody can be involved in sports and see the impact that it can make.
For the clinic, they'll be able to go onto the basketball court and take a jump shot. So get that Division I college feel right immediately following the game, get shots up. And then our women's basketball student athletes are going to come up to the atrium, and then they'll be able to sign autographs for all the kids.
Having them watch us work hard out here, talk to each other, communicate, build relationships on and off the court, it's really cool.
People should come to this event whether they want to learn something from it or just to support their daughter, their sister, their friend, and just further enhance celebrating girls and women in sports.
Let's go Eagles!
The third annual celebration of girls and women in sports will take place at the George Gervin Game Above Center on the campus of EMU on January 31st, starting at noon. For more event highlights and information on registration, visit annarbor.org/sportscommission. Stay tuned, and we'll be back with more in exactly 30 seconds. Ann Arbor has thrown canines a bone with a pop-up dog park at a very popular locale. Learn about the park that has tails wagging next.
This is the ceremonial opening of the pop-up dog park at Veterans Memorial Field number 4.
It's really nice to have a dog park that's like literally steps away from where I live.
I think people are having more and more dogs and maybe less kids, so I think we need some more places for dogs to play.
If your dog is friendly, has rabies shots, I think it's always good to take them out and have fun activities for them to do so they're not cooped up in the house and on the leash. It's always fun to have their personalities come out when they're interacting with their fellow dog companions.
We are really excited about this opportunity. It is a chance to try something a little bit different, be a little bit more innovative in how we activate spaces during the off-season.
Visit baseball field number 4 at Veterans Memorial Park now through April to take advantage of this temporary off-season dog park. The Ann Arbor Community Academy gives residents a deeper look at the inner workings of city government. Interested individuals can sign up now through February 16th and learn more about the A2AC in this month's City Roundup.
Hi, my name is Sarah Lanise with the City of Ann Arbor Clerk's Office. Today, I'm going to tell you about the Ann Arbor Community Academy. The Community Academy is a program where community members interested in the city's long-term plans and day-to-day operations have a chance to participate in interactive sessions with city staff across different departments. City staff hopes participants will be motivated to play a more active role in shaping the future of Ann Arbor after participating in this program. Graduates from our academy are highly involved in our community and currently serve on City Council, the City Planning Commission, the Public Art Commission, and as election inspectors. You can find more information, including how to sign up, at a2gov.org/A2CA.
The winter chill has blown in, and it may seem more challenging to commit to alternative forms of transportation like walking, biking, busing, or even ride sharing. getDowntown is offering some amazing incentives for those ready to conquer the cold. Joining me is Lilliane Webb, Business Services Program Manager and getDowntown Program Director, to fill us in on ways to travel by more sustainable means. Welcome to the show, Lilliane.
Thank you for having me.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about what Conquer the Cold is? It's been around. It used to be the commuter challenge, right?
We actually still do the commuter challenge.
Oh, okay. So there's two separate entities. Yes. What is the difference between the two?
So the commuter challenge is during the spring, and it's a little bit more team-based. We think that the spring is a really good time for folks when they're coming. The weather's nicer, to have opportunities to use the bus, bike, and carpool. In the wintertime, Conquer the Cold is a little bit more intimidating time of year to choose green transportation like walking, biking, using the bus, or carpooling. And so we have these incentives, and it's a little bit more loose than the commuter challenge in the rules, in that the commuter challenge is typically more for workplaces. And in the Conquer the Cold, if you're willing to participate with us and you have a connection to the Ann Arbor community, we'd be glad to be having you in our challenge.
So you don't have to live here?
Nope. If you commute into Ann Arbor, we'd love to have you. If you have a connection in some way, we just want this to impact our Ann Arbor community. So unfortunately, your cousin in Grand Rapids may think it's a great idea, may love our prizes, but we ask them to look for the challenge in their hometown versus using our website.
So if you were to be an out-of-towner coming in for work or whatever it might be, what's your best bet? Ride sharing? What are you going to do?
Yeah, we're talking about ride sharing, or we mean carpooling, van pooling. That's kind of the collective term for those. So that's a good option. There are ways on our challenge website for you to be able to search for other folks who are also interested in carpool partners from your town. Even if it's not in the immediate Ann Arbor area, there are people who commute to Ann Arbor from across Southeast Michigan and even a little into Ohio. So that's not unusual. You wouldn't be alone in that. The other option is park and ride lots. So around Ann Arbor, off of 94 and other convenient spots, there are some free lots that are designated for commuters where they can leave their car without having to pay and hop on a bus. The bus will pull right into the parking lot. So you can even wait in your car until you see the bus and then hop out. So you're not even standing in the cold, and then make that last 2-mile trip by bus.
I was thinking about this conquering the cold thing. And why do you think this is like a really good way to sort of start that, like thinking about alternative commuting methods? Because it is like the terrible time of the year. And you're like, if I could do it now, then I could do it way more when it's nicer out.
Exactly. I think sometimes the idea of a Michigan winter is a lot more intimidating than an actual Michigan winter. So we have actually gotten quite a bit of snow this year. We don't know when we're going into planning these things what the weather is going to be like, but you can look for those days, check the forecast and look for those days where it's surprisingly nice outside, where it's sunny and not snowy, and use our incentive, use the peer pressure and team dynamics to feel encouraged and feel a part of something greater, so that you're not just doing this on your own. Sometimes it's hard to start things when it's just you setting a personal goal. When you sign up for Conquer the Cold, it helps you kind of be a part of something, have something at stake, even if it's just a little thing like a prize from us, or something nicer like a gift card.
Is there an age eligibility?
Yeah, we are looking for folks who are 18 and older. Mostly, we love that caretakers are interested in this challenge and that young people are interested in the challenge. But for actually logging your trips, we ask that 18 and older to log your trips on our website.
So how do you start? Do you have to register before, or you're just like, okay, I conquered the cold today. I'm going to go on the website and log?
Yeah, you do not have to register in advance of taking your trips. If you started already, our website, win.getdowntown.org, is where folks can log their green trips, and you are able to log trips that have happened in the past. So if you hear this message and you decide to go out and walk to the grocery store or carpool to meet up with friends, but don't end up signing up until later, that's a-okay. Just make sure to sign up before the challenge ends on February 12th and go ahead and use our calendar to mark in the green trips that you took throughout the challenge. But of course, it is a little bit easier to remember all of them when you do them kind of more same day.
And there's no app. It's just going on that Win Get Downtown.
There is an app as well. So if you enter that website on your phone, it'll redirect you to the app. It's the Get Downtown app if you're searching for it in Google Play or the Apple Store.
Yeah, because I mean, when I'm thinking about like something like that, where I'm just like, oh, I did it, I got to do it right. I'm thinking an app might be so much easier. I know not everyone wants to put a new app on their phone, but like when you're logging something so regularly, it seems like it would be more ease.
Yeah, I like the app, especially when I'm taking the bus because I can do it while I'm on the bus. And the other thing is for trips that we take often, like commutes, you can save some of those. Say, hey, every Tuesday I take the bus to work. You don't necessarily have to log that trip each time because if you're going to the same spot by the same mode, you can tell it to, hey, when it's Tuesday, go ahead and log this, and it'll ask you to verify once you're starting to do that trip regularly if you're still doing it.
Do you have like stats on previous years of conquering the cold? Like, what do people really like to do for their greener commutes? What are the top things?
Yeah, we find that folks do use the bus system a lot in this challenge. There are people who are biking all year round, but the bus is definitely the top thing. And carpooling is definitely something that we don't see the highest numbers for in terms of number of trips. But the important thing about carpooling is that typically those are longer commutes or longer trips. And so the environmental impact, which is also something that we kind of do a rough calculation of what the environmental impact would be of if folks had taken any of these trips with a traditional car by themselves. And share that calculation of emissions saved or miles not driven. So carpoolers have a really big impact, and sometimes one carpool trip maybe takes as much emissions out of the environment as a lot of walking trips or a lot of biking trips. So those carpool trips, even if they're fewer, are very important.
You also have some social activities, which sound kind of fun. There's like a mixer and some events coming up. Why don't you tell me about those?
Yeah, we think that it's important for this time of year. Folks want to be out and about. And if you've already conquered the cold and you've been biking or walking, that you want to be around people. And so we have a couple of events where we're inviting fellow green trip folks to come together. And so we have a midpoint mixer on January 27th at Detroit Street Filling Station. That'll be an early prize pickup opportunity for folks who, if you've already recorded your first 10 trips, there's an opportunity to earn a prize for that and you could pick it up. But we'll also be sharing resources for folks who aren't sure yet what the best transportation mode is for them. And of course, we want to hear people's stories too. So that'll be a fun opportunity to maybe get some advice if you're not a winter biker, but a summer biker, and you want to hear from these folks on how they keep going all year or what socks people are using when they're standing at the bus stop. Coming to one of our events is a really good opportunity just to do some peer learning as well as getting the information from the Get Downtown team.
I will say I got a new coat this year and it's a game changer. I didn't realize that my coat wasn't doing enough for me. So I could see like how you would think like, oh, I can't get on my bike. It's too cold outside. But then if you have the right gear, it doesn't even matter anymore.
Yeah, it goes a long way. Once you have a game-changing gear, you want to tell other people about it. So we don't have to prompt our participants too much to get them to share because they are like, this is what you need.
Yeah, yeah. You talked about the prizes. How does that work? Do you have to do so many commutes to win a prize? Is it you could do one commute and possibly win a raffle prize? How does that go?
Yeah, so we have different levels of prizes. So at the very least, log your first green commute. That's so important. That does matter. It makes a difference. Like we said, for traffic, for environmental reasons, it's a good thing to do. Um, each week that there's a trip logged, we're entering you into a gift card raffle. So we'll draw randomly from anyone who's logged a trip that week. And so the challenge is about 4.5 weeks. So depending on when you start logging trips, you'll have more opportunities. Even if you're not making a lot of trips, you'll still have opportunities to win that local gift card. And then on top of that, if you are a competitive type or have a lot of trips to do that you think you can accomplish, there's two more opportunities. So the top number of green trips taken will actually win a $250 gift card for Bivouac Ann Arbor, which is pretty awesome because you can really get some gear that will make those green trips even easier, some nice layers. And then if you maybe aren't at the top of the green trip leaderboard, but you can still get trips by hitting prizes by hitting different milestones, such as 10 trips, 25 trips, 50 trips. Those are things like some ear warmers for when you're outside, a little penguin mascot that'll remind you to take those green trips, or even a scarf like our penguin mascot is wearing if you see our Conquer the Cold graphics.
I love the scarf. It's really cute. It's actually it's reminiscent of the AADL summer games, but it's the cold. So it's like and it's like the prizes are sort of like cool like that too. They're nice prizes. They're not just like throwaway, like, oh, I don't care about this thing. They're actually like really nice prizes.
Yeah, we try to have things that people will find useful in the cold, or at least motivate them. And then we always hear feedback from past participants that they love supporting local businesses, that those gift cards are something that are just nice because they feed more trips and more opportunities to go out and explore the community.
Out of curiosity, I know this has been going on for years. You've been dealing with it. You've been seeing these people commuting and logging their commutes. Is the leaderboard always like the same people, or are you seeing like are there people that are really competitive? Like I'm gonna win Conquer the Cold every year. Like
Yeah, there isn't in my time with the program, there hasn't been a consistent winner. I think I've seen kind of 2 years running. Usually people will have a streak where if they're their second one year, they might come back and try really hard to get in first the next year. But the other thing that's interesting about our leaderboard is that it's on our website, and people can choose a username. So you don't have to say, hi, I'm Lilliane Webb, and this is how many green trips I'm taking, and feel maybe not as excited as you would hope to where you are on the leaderboard. You can use a nickname that you share with your friends and family, and so they'll see you on the leaderboard. You'll know where your friends and family are, but maybe the community generally won't have any idea who Biker 46 are. So we actually won't know until we start notifying winners who is behind the top folks on our leaderboard, unless they come to our event and tell us.
well, it's cool too that they can see how close they are to being on the leaderboard, which makes that competitiveness even more exciting. And like if you really want to be that top person, you're like, oh man, I just got to do like 6 more and I'm going to beat this other person. So that's also cool to like give it that extra like almost gamer sense.
Yeah, our last year's winner was kind enough to come to some of our events, and she had mentioned that Conquer the Cold was something that motivated her. She was already a winter bike commuter, but when it's dark outside and she's tired from the end of the day, and she kind of just wanted to get in her car to go to the grocery store, that she was like, no, I can get some more points and extra trips if I bike to the grocery store and back. And so that was her extra motivation to keep going and to do one more trip and get out of the car one less time.
Yeah, honestly, I saw some people walking today when I was in my car going to school, taking my daughter to school, and I was like, wow, good for you. Like, I'm like, that's amazing that you can do that. Like, my daughter lives, her school's too far from her house. Like, there's no way I couldn't walk there or ride a bike. But I was like impressed. I'm like, man, you live close, you can do it, and you're doing it. It's not nice outside, but you're doing it.
Yeah, I think that visibility is a big piece of it. It's just there. We know there are people doing it. We see if we're in our cars, we see folks, and, their footprints on the sidewalks or the wheel print through for the bikes or the scooters or different things. But Conquer the Cold kind of puts some faces behind those tracks.
There's also some sort of social media campaign too, is that right?
Yeah, so there are also some social media challenges, and these are opportunities to enter into another drawing for gift cards based on either posting on social media and tagging the Get Downtown program or commenting on one of the posts that we've made on our social media pages. So on Instagram and Facebook, the Get Downtown page. We want to be your cheerleaders, and we're putting useful information out there on our social media pages. So we want you to check them out and then also interact and help inspire others. So one example is we're curious to hear what sorts of songs are people listening to pump them up for their trips. Are you trudging through the snow, listening to Eye of the Tiger as you get to the bus stop? Maybe that always just gets you through on a cold day. So we're curious what people are listening to and want to put that information out for others who are making playlists for themselves in their winter commutes.
What a great idea too, because honestly, music is such a helpful tool when you are doing something like that. You're like, oh, I got a long walk ahead, put on some tunes. It feels like it's less of a task when you have something entertaining.
And you kind of get used to that too, as if you are someone who is starting through Conquer the Cold to do some of these green trips. Making it enjoyable is one way to make that habit stick, is like realizing that no, you're not just standing out in the cold and there's snow whipping in your face. You are getting in your podcast time. You are getting in your me time versus kind of having to white knuckle it and pay attention to the car in front of you. And maybe you have to go slower than normal because the roads are icy. Instead, you are bopping along, minding your own business, and just having a peaceful, serene walk to the bus stop or walk to your destination.
You mentioned earlier about that accountability of doing it when you're alone. Do you have any advice for people to maybe get like, like me and my husband, and then maybe a couple of our neighbors doing it together?
Yeah, one of the options on our website is to the same website where you track trips, you can form a team. So in addition to the individual leaderboard, we have a team leaderboard, which you could be competitive with other teams, but it's just a group who decides that they want to do Conquer the Cold together and see their results together. So we have a team for the Get Downtown program, and we open it up to anyone who wants to email us and let us know to add you to our team. But we are called the Frost Fighters, and we can see, in addition to the overall results of all couple hundred people who will participate in Conquer the Cold, we can see just the 5 to 10 of us who are on the Get Downtown team, how we're doing in terms of number of miles or emissions saved. So if you have a household, roommates, even your department at work, there are quite a few groups who have started teams and are making their way through the challenge together on that leaderboard.
I love it. Before we go, why should people conquer the cold?
I think the biggest reason to conquer the cold is because there's too much fun things happening in order to stay inside all winter long. And driving a car is not necessarily the funnest way to get to them. Carpooling is allows you to have people to do it with and spend more time together, as well as being on the bus and walking allows you just to see more of our community. So I think it's just the right thing to remind folks that there's so many great things to experience, even if it's a little chilly and a little snowy.
Well, thank you so much, Lillian, for being on the show and telling us more about Conquer the Cold.
Thanks for having me. Stay warm.
For more on this and other programs, visit a2gov.org/CTN. Visit youtube.com/CTN Ann Arbor to see all that we have to offer. And remember to like, subscribe, and ring that notification. Thanks for watching and tune in next time to FYI.